Hi everyone, afternoon or early evening rather I should say. I hope you're all well. This is the church of St Andrew Undershaft. There's been a church on this site since the 12th century, but this one dates from between 1520 and 1532. So there's some exterior views of it. It's got its own little tiny mini churchyard, but we'll cover that afterwards I think. I've already been inside and filmed, as per my usual, or as is my wont, as Carol says, who's a friend of mine. Now this one is like a cafe type area thing during the day, lunchtime talks, St Andrew Undershaft, and it's a lovely old church tucked away in London amongst all the skyscrapers and the modern stuff. This, to my opinion, the Lloyds of London, this has got to be one of the ugliest buildings I have ever seen. And I'm not the prettiest thing in the world, so coming from me, it must be really fucking ugly. Anyway, here is our bell tower. Oh, how convenient. There's a bell tower, St Andrew Undershaft. And we're at St Mary Axe, London EC3. And in we go for our tour. Lovely architecture, of course. Looming arc at the door. So. And I'm not holding the phone wonky, it's where this church has settled over time. Look at the old architecture, look. Don't you just love places like this? As I say, I've already filmed inside here, so... Oh my gosh, we've gone completely... There we are. Fabian Stedman, I have to put the light on, that's it. In memory of Fabian Stedman, one of the originators of the art of change ringing on church bells, publisher of the Tintinologia, or the art of ringing, 1688, author of Campanologia, which is bell ringing, or the art of ringing improved, 1677, master of the Society of the College of Youths, 1682 to 83, buried at St Andrew Undershaft, 16th of November 1713. This memorial, erected on the 5th of November 1983 by the Ancient Society of College Youths. So it's nice that he's not forgotten, bless him. Bless his little curtains. And you have another memorial. It's the body of Bridget, the third daughter of Sir Christopher Clitheroe, sometime Alderman and Lord Mayor of London. She departed this mortal life the 12th, and was buried ye 21st of April 1681 in the 67th year of her age. She died on the 12th and she's buried on the 21st April, which is a fairly warm month. So, and I don't mean it to be revolting, it shows that the woman would have been embalmed. And here we have more. Captain William Morris, RM. Mr. Peter Jones, who died August the 29th, 1840, aged 63 years. Also Anne, his widow, departed this life August the 27th, 1841, aged 64 years. Both nearly 50 years inhabitants of this parish, and whose mortal remains are deposited in the vault beneath the vestry. Also of two of their sons, William Hickin, who died October the 10th, 1835, aged 17 years, and James, who died December the 14th, 1837, aged 26 years. Light is sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright in heart. Psalm 97, verse 11. And you've got a couple more up there. Charles Shuttleworth, Esquire, and Mr. Richard Van Dome, 50 years as inhabitant of this parish, and he died 16th of January 1810, aged 80 years, which is, believe it or not, it's a very good age for back then. So anyway, that's some of the past parishioners, and in we go. It's had a little bit of alterations on this one, but it's been nicely and quite tastefully done. So off in we go. Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the beautiful church of St Andrew Undershaft. There's been a church on this site since the 12th century, but this church dates from the 1520s to 1532, largely rebuilt. More history will fall in the description. And up here is, and we will go there, lovely stained glass window, and you can get up there, so I'll take you up there afterwards. But as I always say, I always start with the side aisles of a church first. There are quite a lot of memorials in here, so I won't read them out. So as I point at each one, just pause to read, because there's quite a lot, and some of them are in Latin. In perpetuum duratunum, in perpetual memory, Edwardi Paynell, Gent. What's that one? Edward Paynell. Samuel Worthington, Esquire. To the glory of God and the memory of John, alias Hans Holbein, painter to His Majesty King Henry VIII, sometime resident of this parish, born 1491 and died in 1543. And the church that we've just come from, St Catherine Cree, is the burial place of Hans Holbein the Younger. Mr. Matthias Dutchler, merchant of this parish, and Mary his wife. See, a lot of rich people in the old days, when they died, they would distribute charity after the funeral at the wheel for the poor. It was a way of being nice, and also a way of trying to assure your place in heaven. I don't care how it was done, as long as poor and needy people got fed. There's more up there. They're a bit worn away, I'm afraid. I won't point you down in this area because there are people sitting near me, but this is Mrs. Catherine Heames. That's better. This place buried Mrs. Catherine Heames, widow and daughter of Sir Thomas sometime governor of the East India Company. And the church we've just been to, I will come back to that one on Sunday, And we'll get a nice interior tour of that one as well. So, before this place lie buried the body of Marjorie, late wife of Humphrey Turner, gentleman who deceased the 10th day of December anno Domini 1607, being in the age of LVI years. Oh, I hate it when they do that. I wish they'd put it in Arabic numbers. Also the body of her first husband, Isaac Sutton, late citizen and goldsmith of London, who deceased ye 2nd of May 1589, by which husband she had issue of 6 sons and 6 daughters. They are also deceased at ye time of her death, only except Joan, daughter and heir of the said Isaac, married unto William Hop, that's our Howpill, gentleman. Oh dear, so look, out of the 12 children that she had, all that was left alive at the time of her death was Joan, who became an heir. Photograph that one. She's nice and warm in here, I'll say that for it. There's a very impressive memorial over here. I want to focus on the architecture and the ceiling. Look at that. That's a wooden Tudor ceiling. It's very similar to the one in the Tower of London, because don't forget this church was built at the same time, or reconstructed or refurbished, or whatever you want to call it. Right, we'll go over here, because I always save the high altar till last. Just the nicest bit. Oh, that's lovely, look at that, stunning. To the glory of God and the memory of Walter. Alvin. Mammal. Nice old clock over there as well. Oh, I didn't see that memorial. Check it out. Let's see. Within this church, by Catherine, his first wife, ye daughter of Thomas Rowland, Esquire, lies buried, ye body of Sir Christopher Clitheroe, Lord Mayor of London, anno Domini 1635, and Dame Mary, his second wife, daughter of Sir Thomas Campbell, also Lord Mayor, anno Domini 1610. He deceased November the 2nd, 1642, and she deceased 13th of December 1645, leaving 6 sons and 4 daughters. Also by whom lies buried Mary, the second wife of James Clitheroe, one of said sons, who was the only daughter of Edmund Gregory of Britwell in the county of Oxon, Gent, and deceased the 14th of September 1662, leaving only a daughter who died the 5th of March 1662 and is laid by her mother in hope of a blessed resurrection. And you see what I'm always saying about child mortality in those days was absolutely fatal. Oh, it's really warm in here. To the glory of God and in loving memory. What's it doing now? The glory of God and in loving memory of William Fraser Nash, LLB, for 28 years curate and precentor of this church, born 18th of November 1835 and died the 25th of November 1903, This tablet is placed here by some of his friends as a token of their affectionate esteem, as a tribute to the zeal and kindness displayed by him during his long connection with the parish. Sorry about the flashing. I don't know. It does that sometimes when you get near some electrical devices. I don't know why it does it, but if it stops, that's it. I think it's the heaters or something. You've got a great big memorial up here on the wall. Plus smaller ones as well, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get them. That's better. Always like to try and get these if I can, because a lot of these people who are mentioned on the wall, I mean, some of these are First World War heroes, so they obviously have to be honoured and captured. But a lot of the people, like in older times, a lot of the people who are on these walls would have paid for the building of churches or restoration and the care of the poor and that kind of thing, so it's nice to remember them. Nice long verse on that one, so she was obviously well liked. Henry Steele, Esquire merchant, out of this parish. We've got another one here. And this one is very, very impressive. Body of Hugh. I think that's Harnell, the major of this city, the mayor of this city. I'll take a picture of that and then try and translate it later on. As you can see, it's rather impressive. There's stained glass at the tops of the windows as well, so back a bit, like that. Probably without knocking into anything or anyone, which is one of my usual things, isn't it? Looks over here. That looks like something quite odd in that corner there, behind that screen. Obviously you can't go pulling screens out of the way and stuff, but yeah. So now, for the obvious piece de resistance, I'll show you the pulpit first. That could be Inigo Jones, that one, it does look like it. Stained glass at the top of the window now. Anyway, as I say, to the high altar, we've just got a lovely window look. What's that? This is one of those churches that is used as a cafe restaurant thing during the week, and that's a good thing because it keeps a lot of these places open. People may moan about it, but it's that, or closure and dilapidation. So you take your pick, which one I prefer. Here rests the worthy weight of President Alderman, sometime Major Sir Thomas Oftley, Knight, in Staffordshire. All whose liberalness town doth seem to know, such were the benefits. One them ye, there he did bestow. My father grave, a consul, wife good counsel for to give 82 years in good fame. He seemed here to live this night in marriage with one wife, 52 years, who spent Dame Joan, her name entombed here, 3 sons, ye Lord, the scent of which it pleased God. Oh Jesus, they're all writings better, that by death to call for to Henry doth live his father's heir. God grant him well to do, and march on tailors. He was free at the staplers, which had stayed his dealing. The poor continually do pray, so obviously he did quite a lot for the poor. Jesus Christ, their writing was lethal in those days. How the hell they managed to understand each other, I have no idea. Spelling was very colloquial. This is nice, but there's a Subbuteo thing covering it up, unfortunately. Very warm. I'll say that for it. I certainly didn't need 2 jackets on today. That really is lovely, isn't it? And here you've got the organ. Stoop, I think, or something like that, where the bread and the wine might be kept. Anyway, we shall go up here now and have a look and see. Beautiful church, really is nice. I'll point you up a minute because there's people with a pram and that. So we'll take one last look at the water before we go. Picture of that as well. These people to go, and we shall go and have a look up here if we can get up there, which I'm hoping we can. Quite sweet. Goodness, I've got tissue paper with me. I'm absolutely sweating. It's really warm. Oh look, I didn't notice these. These must be from pre-Reformation that have been uncovered. Oh, I'm really glad I noticed these now. Well, only by mistake, but you know what I mean. Oh look, they're all along. Yes, and on this side too. Look. These must be pre-Reformation that have been uncovered later on. So don't forget, when this church was rebuilt and restored, 1520s to 1532, the Reformation hadn't happened yet. So they must have newly painted all this lot, and not many years afterward had to take it all down again. Which would have been most grievous unto them, I should think. We'll go up the top bit and have a look. Alright. Look. There's another memorial there, but we'll go upstairs and have a look. This lovely window. Which is what I like to come and see. It's been a very good day for churches today, I'll say that for it. James the First. Charles the First, the king that lost his head. Look, and this gives us a chance up here to get close to these wall paintings. There is no cash donation thing for this one, so I'll have to do it online. I hate doing that. Look. Now I shall look down into the church. High altar. That's it. I don't know why that annoying flashing thing keeps happening on the phone. I have no idea. It gives you a chance to get closer to the monument. Sir Walter Henry Wilkin, KC, MG, Lord Mayor of London 1895 to 1896. For many years Church Warden of St Andrew's Undershaft, died 13th of November 1922, aged 80. Erected by his widow. System as well. So, right, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this tour. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all soon. Well, that's us finished on our little tour. I hope you all enjoyed it. And what a lovely little discovery are those Tudor wall paintings, religious wall paintings, and an interesting bit of history to them, because this, as I say, this church was built 1520 to 1532, really before, and not very long at all before the Reformation kicked off. So they would have painted these beautiful new paintings when they built the church, which would cost an absolute fortune. And then under King Henry, then his son Edward, and then later on and whatnot, they would have had to cover them all up with lime wash, which must have been heartbreaking for the people that commissioned them and for the people that painted them. And this is its little miniature churchyard. There isn't much left of it, I'm afraid. Beneath this spot lie interred the remains of Mrs. Elizabeth Waller, who died on the 20th day of January 1798, aged 17 years. Also Mr. Joseph Waller, husband of the above, died on the 21st day of September that's really annoying. I think that's 1813, in the 57th year of his age. Also Mrs. Sarah Sayer, their daughter, died on the 18th of October, and the date's gone. And so's also Mr. John Sayer, husband of the above. So at least we got some of it. It's annoying when the inscriptions are one or partly one. But yeah, this is its churchyard. What would have been its churchyard. The gravestones are all gone, of course, now, but it gives us a chance to... Oh, look. Here life interred the body of Mr. Abraham Sutton, merchant. He lived in Flanders, in the city of Chent. City of Chendt, above 30 years, and died there in the 55th year of his age, at the desire to be buried in this near his own relations. Desired to be buried in this church near his own relations. He died the 24th day of May 1675. Well, that's really fascinating. So that means he died in Flanders, in the city of Chent, wherever that is, Chendt, and his body was brought home. So under this stone, in a vault, lies the body of Samuel Strode, Esquire, who departed this life December the 26th, 1723, aged 52. Also the body of 3 of his children, 2 sons and a daughter, who all died in infancy. See, when a child died in infancy in those days, they weren't generally, unless they were very important or really the parents were completely and utterly heartbroken, the names weren't always put down. And I know it's horrible to think of, but with some religious people and that, the children weren't really classed as being people or having a soul until they'd formed their personality. After the Enlightenment and the 1700s and things like that changed, and that's when children became more as we think of them as children. I mean, the teenager didn't exist until the 1960s, but in these days you were a young adult, you were a small adult, a small person, and there to be whipped and moulded into the same depending upon how your parents treated you. Mr. Charles Torrand of this parish, Mr. Robert Torrand. It's kind of, a lot of it's gone away, I'm afraid. There's another one under the bench, and I'm not getting down on my hands and knees because I'm aching like hell already. But this gives us a chance just to have a look at the exterior of the church. And I can sit on this bench and have a smoke in a minute as well. But as I say, years ago, these churches would have been the tallest things around. But now, and people, as I always say in many of my videos, people would, once upon a time, tell their way around by church spires. You wouldn't be able to see them now, would you, my dears? Oh, look, that looks like an interesting door into a turret. Just behind that wheelie bin. The gentleman that let me in was extremely posh and very nice. And I'm glad I didn't do anything naughty, because he told me a bit about the history. He went, "I'll take a leaflet, young man." He asked me what I wanted to take the photos for. He went, "Oh, that's excellent." He went, "It's so nice to see younger people." He went, "Particularly a Londoner taking interest in our history." He went, "Crack on." He went, "Help yourself." And when someone come up to him about 10 minutes after and went, "Sir John, can I have a word with you a minute, please, sir?" Sir John, I don't know who he was, but he was called Sir John. Oh, I've met a knight. In memory of Kimberly Perkins, deputy who represented the ward of Aldgate 1957 to 1974. Yeah, and this is that interesting looking door here. I don't know what it is or what it's to. Probably goes into this turret thing here, but we shall leave that. And you don't want to be telling off by Sir John. He's really nice bloke though anyway. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this little tour. Take care and thank you for watching.